Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. The weekend just about here. I know we got to take care of business on Thursday and Friday, but we are looking forward to the Valentine's Day weekend coming up. It'll be here before you know it. For today, we've got a great show lined up for you from the weather desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. We're broadcasting from the 13 News Now studios in Southeast Virginia, serving Hampton Roads and Northeast North Carolina. You take a look at our topics today. A possible frost quake in Michigan. We're going to talk about that. Have you wondered what a frost quake was? If you don't know, we'll explain what it was, how it happens, and why they think they had one yesterday in Michigan. That'll be coming up. Also, more water problems for the Steel City, at least parts of Pittsburgh. They've been trying to manage their water, and they've had some issues with freezing up there. So many folks in the Northeast have. So we'll update you on that situation. A little later in the show, we're going to talk about a horse getting rescued from freezing water. You know, we talked about a manatee yesterday that was pulled from a sewer system, and now we have a horse that needed to be rescued from a frozen pool. So we'll talk about that. In Florida, could the wetlands become dry lands? Well, it's been very, very dry down there. We'll update you on the drought situation around the country as we've got the updated drought monitor in. And then we're going to take a look at why static shocks are worse in winter. Have you noticed that? I threw that out as a headline. All of a sudden, my colleagues here at 13 News Now started saying, yeah, I've noticed it. Marta Berglund, our traffic reporter, said she's been getting a lot of really bad static shocks. I think Ashley Smith, our co-anchor here at 13 News Daybreak, also saying she got a couple as well. So you may be finding it yourself. We'll look into why they seem to be so much worse in the winter. All right, and when will Hampton Roads see some rain? We need it. We've only had 1/100th of an inch so far in the month of February. We came through January and the end of 2025 dry, so we are in drought here, and we'll update you on that and when we'll see that next chance for rain. Plenty to talk to. We're going to start off, though, with a rare weather event in Michigan known as a frost quake. It may have damaged a store on Tuesday. Now, this was the aftermath inside of a gas station in St. Clair Shores. People reported feeling a slight shake and then finding damage to floors like you see here. A frost quake happens when water in the ground freezes and expands, and I'm going to show you a graphic here in just a moment, but it can create loud booms and tremors, and when that soil and rocks suddenly fracture under all the pressure. All right, let's take a look at how this actually happens. You have the soil, obviously, you know, and you get rapidly falling temperatures. Sometimes there's snow or moisture in that soil can freeze. So that underground water freezes up. With the new ice, it expands and puts extra pressure on the surrounding soil and the bedrock. Now the pressure builds until the soil and the rocks crack, and this can send this crackling, or this cracking can result in loud booms or literally shaking from the bedrock and some of the soil just below. So this is what they believed happened up there in Michigan. Pretty wild to see that. And some of you don't think about that often, but it is a physical phenomenon that can occur. All right, in Pittsburgh, water has been the big issue. You know, they're hoping for a few consecutive days with temperatures well above freezing. You'll notice Pittsburgh was in the 30s for highs yesterday. They were a little milder in New York City, but it's still been pretty cold in the Northeast. This cold snap has been creating issues with their water service. Back in January, we told you the water company had to clear ice that blocked water intake along the Allegheny River. Those jams restricted capacity, preventing normal pumping operations and causing pressure problems for customers, especially those in higher elevation neighborhoods. But that's not the only thing the water company is keeping an eye on. Kalia Gunderson reports.
We have over 900 miles of water main that we're sending the water out through, and that water main's buried in the ground.
Frozen ground that shifts and can put stress on water lines as the ground temperature changes, causing breaks in the line.
The other thing we can see during these really hard freezes is perhaps there was a break that may have occurred, but because the ground was frozen solid or we have all these snowbanks, it might not have been surfacing for us to actually see it.
As the snow melts, if you see signs of a break like bubbling or running water, Chief Operating Officer of Pittsburgh Water Frank Sideri says you should report it immediately. The same goes for possible breaks in your home.
In older homes, quite common. We're still dealing with frozen pipes right now. You know, and the longer they stay frozen, the more risk of the pipes breaking.
Owner of Isel Enterprises in Baldwin, Tom Isel, says after the thaw come leaks.
If there's a frozen pipe and it decides to thaw in your home, you will hear it. It'll make a popping noise, and then you'll hear the water running. So then you need to look for it or shut the main off.
And if a pipe outside has frozen, he suggests letting your faucet drip for the next day or two while the thawing begins. And check your outside hose spouts and drains for freezing. And while it's unpredictable when leaks will appear, he says it's unfortunately expected.
All week there's going to be calls.
And they've got some more cold weather in the forecast. As you take a look at the temperature trends, you'll notice that cold air settling back in portions of New York State and around the Pittsburgh area, western PA. Very cold today and into Friday. By Saturday, we're going to start to see some more moderate temperatures here across Hampton Roads, but they're still staying pretty cold in the Northeast. So we'll continue to monitor all of that and keep you updated. All right, we want to turn our attention from Pittsburgh back down to Ohio, and specifically the area down close to the Kentucky border, not far from Cincinnati. It's in Ohio. A horse named Dixie is on the mend after being rescued from a swimming pool in freezing temperatures. Now, this happened in Monroe Township on Monday. That's about 30 minutes outside of Cincinnati near the Kentucky state line. The horse fell into a pool after wandering out of her pasture. Firefighters had to put on wetsuits in order to get some straps around Dixie, where they finally were able to harness and guide her into the shallow end and eventually out of the water. A veterinarian evaluated Dixie after the rescue and says she is recovering. So good to see that. All right, so we're going to look from Cincinnati and our horse story. Let's turn it back to the southern U.S. and specifically want to take you down along the Gulf Coast and specifically to the southern part of Florida and around the Everglades. You get down into South Florida. People who live in the Everglades are sounding the alarm. A months-long drought is causing parts of the wetlands to dry out. Janine Stanwood reports from Broward County.
We're on an airboat with Marshall Jones, a fifth-generation Gladesman who runs Max Fish Camp.
Because this drought is going to be one of the worst ones in a generation. Yeah, he moved back there.
We see gators trudging through mud. It's mucky and bone dry. Oh, all right.
Nice and cold, right?
Yep.
The further we go this direction, the drier it gets. This particular drought is coming on earlier and with a harder, more rapid onset than I've ever seen.
Rainfall is 50% down since November, prompting officials to urge people to conserve water to stop depleting the Biscayne Aquifer, South Florida's main water source.
The less you waste water, the more viable our aquifer will be. This entire area that we're going through today, the Everglades in general, is the aquifer recharge zone for all of South Florida.
The Everglades is also home to one of the most complex and important ecosystems. Dry conditions shrinking the habitat and hiding places for wildlife.
With the rapid onset of this drought, the wildlife, many of them will be stranded out here. This area would normally be up to our knees with water.
Back at base camp, Jones has had to cut back on airboat tours because there are fewer places to go. He's also worried about brush fires already popping up.
It's a tinderbox waiting to go off.
So I want to talk to you about the drought situation in South Florida, and this is brand new information. This literally updated and was released about 40 minutes or so ago from the U.S. Drought Monitor. And it is interesting because while they were in severe drought in many parts of South Florida, previously we're seeing more of the Everglades under extreme drought. So this, again, it lines up with what that waterman was saying down there with the airboat. You can see around Lake Okeechobee Okeechobee and areas back to the east of that now under extreme drought. There's more extreme drought just north of Fort Myers, but we've got these areas here in South Florida. Again, extreme drought, and that's so important as that helps charge the water supplies in South Florida. So this is a serious situation. We will continue to monitor, and we will let you know about that. North Florida also under extreme drought that extends up into South Georgia. We're seeing a little more of Texas under that drought as well. West Coast still looking pretty good. California's all right. The upper Midwest and the Great Plains not doing too bad once you get up towards the Dakotas, but across Kansas, while they're good, you get up into Nebraska or down into Oklahoma, and they do have some issues. It looks like the drought is exceptional there in the north, say central to northeast part of Arkansas. For Hampton Roads, we're going to continue to see our conditions evolve a little bit with more dry air or more dry conditions over the next few days. But here we're actually going to see some much needed rain on Sunday. You can see again, we'll be watching back through the northern parts of the Ohio River Valley up into Indiana and Illinois, and then the mid-Mississippi Valley all the way down across the south central part of the country. As we take a look here in Hampton Roads, still moderate drought. That really hasn't changed much. As a matter of fact, this hasn't changed a lot from last week's, we saw this little area that is abnormal dry around Richmond down through Petersburg, with severe drought out around Emporia to areas out in southern and southwestern parts of Southampton, western Hertford County down into Bertie County, and Northampton, North Carolina. So this area under severe drought. Most of our viewing area, though, is moderate with the drought right now. Well, that's a look at what's happening with the drought situation. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to explain why static electricity, why those shocks are so much worse in winter than they are in summer. We'll talk about that, and we'll look ahead to Hampton Roads' next good chance for some significant rainfall. That's after this 2-minute break. Welcome back to the Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. So, have you ever wondered why static shocks are worse in winter? It's not just your imagination. It is a thing. You may experience more static shocks and a lot more of them than you do during those summer months. Meteorologist Becca Birdsall from our sister station in Charlotte explains why.
Ever notice how winter turns you into a walking lightning bolt? You touch a doorknob, zap, your car door, zap, even your dog sometimes, zap. Winter air is much drier, and that dryness is the key to all those shocks. Here's why winter air is so dry. Cold air can't hold as much moisture as warm air. As temperatures drop, humidity levels naturally fall. Then we make it worse indoors by running the heat nonstop. Heating systems warm the air but don't add moisture, which drives indoor humidity even lower. The result is extremely dry air both outside and inside during the winter months. Dry air is perfect for building static electricity. When you walk across carpet, slide out of your car seat, or pull on a sweater, electrons transfer onto your body and have nowhere to go. In humid summer air, that charge slowly leaks away. In dry winter air, it just keeps building until it suddenly discharges when you touch metal or another conductor. That quick discharge is the shock you feel.
Well, you can't stop static electricity entirely, you can reduce it. Add moisture to the air. Using a humidifier can raise indoor humidity and help static charges dissipate more easily. Touch metal with a key first. Wear natural fibers. Cotton and leather generate less static than synthetics like polyester or fleece. Moisturize. Dry skin holds on to static more easily, so lotion can actually help reduce shocks.
With the Weather Impact Team, I'm meteorologist Becca Birdsall.
Yeah, I didn't really think so much about the types of materials you wear, but it does make sense. If you wear a lot of fleece or some of the polyesters, there's so many technical tops that we wear when we're working out, that contributes to that buildup of static electricity. Take a look at the current humidity levels, and this is relative humidity. I could just as easily show you dew points or some other measures of atmospheric moisture, but just wanted to let you know, again, places out towards like Roanoke and Winston-Salem really dry out that way. We, of course, are a little more influenced by the ocean waters, depending on the direction of the wind. Sometimes we get some of the moisture coming in off the coast, which can keep our humidity levels a little bit higher right here across Hampton Roads. And you see some of that down around Edenton. It's a bit milder, or a bit more humid relatively speaking out that way. Petersburg right now with 81%, but many areas starting to dry out. And as the temperature separates more and more from the dew points later in the day, of course, the relative humidity does go down. How about our rain chances? Let's take a look at this. I said it's going to be dry today and dry tomorrow and dry Saturday, but Sunday, really good chances for wet weather. I expect numerous showers and really a period of moderate to heavier rain later Sunday and Sunday night into early Monday. Should catch a break Tuesday into Wednesday. Low risk of a shower for those days, but this Sunday should be a significant amount of rain, and that's going to help things out in terms of the drought situation. As I mentioned, our viewing area right now under moderate drought. We should pick up over an inch of rain on Sunday into Monday. Some of the models suggesting maybe an inch and a quarter, inch and a third, something like that. That would certainly help us out. All right, as we take a look at the temperatures over the past week, so cold and bone dry at times. We were warmer Tuesday into Wednesday, and so far today, 38's been the warmest it's been. We are going to see temperatures into the low to mid 40s this afternoon, low 40s tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday we start to warm it up a bit. I think Valentine's Day looks great for Saturday, but Sunday we do have that chance for wet weather into early Monday. By next Wednesday, we warm it up to near 60 and 58 on Thursday. Those days are going to feel really good. Checking in with the Thompson Creek Window Company sky view, you can see just some cirrus clouds off in the distance. A couple of contrails out there, but some cirrus cloud cover looking down south along the Carolina coast. Skies are mostly sunny overhead. The ocean front looking pretty good. We do have a little bit of chop out there, just enough wind that there is still a small craft advisory for the ocean and the bay. Lower part of the bay and the waters east of Virginia Beach, we do have those occasional wind gusts and the waves still out there. I'll show you the details on that in a moment. Temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 30s inland. We have upper 30s near the coast, and the temperatures will be warming up a little bit, lower to mid 40s. We do have the mostly sunny skies, and obviously these temperatures cooler than yesterday's high of 58. Notice some snow showers flying back up across Pennsylvania and New York State a little bit there. A few flurries into Maryland as well. Some more snow back across Illinois and Iowa. A little bit of rain in the mix there. Most of the southeast southeast U.S. is really in great shape, though, in terms of high pressure controlling things. We're going to find that building across our region. Right now, there's a little surface trough right over the mountains there, out in western parts of Virginia and North Carolina. That's very weak. This high pressure will be the dominant feature. And that's why we're going to see more sunshine coming up over the next few days. So today's forecast, pretty straightforward. We're going to find the winds coming in from the northwest, and they're going to blow at times maybe 5 to, say, 15 miles per hour. We've seen a few higher gusts, but it's really not that windy out there. Temperatures, though, will be held in the lower to mid-40s widespread. Overnight tonight and into tomorrow, mid-20s, places like Emporia, Ahoskie, Franklin, and Wakefield. Upper 20s to low 30s near the coast. As we look through the day on your Friday, skies are going to be sunny. I do expect temperatures to range from the upper 30s to near 40 right at the beaches, and then inland areas more like mid 40s tomorrow. So it will be a little bit milder once you come farther west. Through the evening on Friday, still mainly clear. Into Saturday, mostly sunny, but the winds shifting to the southwest is going to drive our temperatures up a little bit. We should see highs in the mid-50s as we go, or low to mid-50s anyway, so it will be a bit milder there on Saturday. Then the clouds come rushing in on Sunday, and eventually wet weather moves in. Now, the area of low pressure as we get into Sunday morning around 8 o'clock, this is the GFS model, and the outlook shows that low right here over Mississippi. Back over Norfolk, we start off with mainly dry conditions early Sunday. As the day continues, we're going to see showers developing by noon. I think they'll be very light, but we'll see a little bit of that. The more widespread, steadier rain out to the west. That's at 12. As we go through the middle part of the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, rain becomes more widespread and steadier. Through the evening Sunday, that's when we'll see the heaviest, steadiest rain. And this is why I think we could see an inch to maybe an inch and a quarter or an inch and a third. Certainly a possibility here in Norfolk. Some locally higher amounts possible. And there might be a few areas that don't get quite as much, but we're going to be looking for these general types of rainfall. Down across South Georgia, we have the potential for some heavy rain there. The area of low pressure is going to come off the coast as we get into early Monday, and by 10 a.m. it should be positioned due east, maybe just a little bit south of east of Cape Hatteras there, and moving away. This is not a nor'easter that forms here and comes up along the coast where we have a prolonged northeast wind and it creates all kinds of issues. This is an area of low pressure that, as I mentioned, would move from like Mississippi right on off coast by early Monday. So you go from early Sunday through early Monday, and it's just moving to the east. It will continue to go. So the showers that we see Monday morning should not last very long. I think by afternoon on Monday, we get drier conditions and some sunshine prevailing. The other thing that's significant to note, we saw winds that were potentially going to be very strong here when we were looking at the Euro and the GFS. The newer updated model runs are showing this moving along. Still, a decent enough storm to produce some heavier rain, but it doesn't look like it's tightening up the way it was yesterday when it was producing the very strong winds with the model output. It was looking like winds could be up around 40, 45 miles per hour or so early Monday. It doesn't look like that now, and I'll show you an updated look at the wind profile. You see how it moves away, and again, we do dry out Tuesday, and then warmer weather builds in for Wednesday. All right, here's a look at the Euro and those wind speeds. Again, keep in mind, yesterday when I showed this graphic, the winds were really cranking up. We'll take a look at those 8 o'clock winds here, and you're still looking at some breezy conditions, but yesterday it was looking like 40 to 50, even 60 miles an hour. We are not close to that now with the updated European model. So while it's going to be breezy, certainly nothing too crazy with the updated outlook, and that's a good thing for us. All right, small craft advisories up for the bay and the ocean as they continue to be a little gusty out there. The waves running 3 to 4 feet in the lower part of the Chesapeake Bay, 4 to 5 footers, occasionally a 6 or even 7 footer. Can't be ruled out there on the ocean waters, but for the most part, it's just pretty breezy out there, and the sea's rough enough you don't want to mess with it with small craft. Note those water temperatures in the 30s right now. That water is cold for sure. Highs today will reach the low to mid 40s near the coast, upper 40s inland to near 50, 51 around Franklin, 50 in Suffolk. Williamsburg, Newport News, and Hampton all expected to be around 46. Decent amount of sunshine there. Cooler on the eastern shore, upper 30s to near 40, 41 at Matthews, 45 at Gloucester. Down to the south, our temperatures also cool at the Outer Banks, close to 40, maybe 41 around Manio. Our inland areas in the upper 40s for Elizabeth City, but low 50s, Edenton and Hertford, Gatesville, and Hosky. Overnight tonight, skies are going to become clear before sunrise, but I do expect a few clouds drifting through during the evening hours. So we'll call it partly cloudy, but look for that clearing before sunrise tomorrow. And as we go through the day tomorrow, it will be even cooler than today. Low 40s, maybe upper 30s right at the beaches. A chilly day for your Friday. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. You know, tomorrow is a great day to take care of any shopping for Valentine's Day if you haven't taken care of it, because sure enough, Saturday will be here before you know it. For Valentine's Day, 54, mostly sunny. Beautiful to get out and maybe enjoy a walk with that special somebody. As you look ahead to Sunday, we've got rain likely, 51, and that rain continues Sunday night into early Monday. Monday morning, those showers kind of wind down around midday, and I think during the afternoon, Monday looks good. Tuesday also looks good, mostly sunny and 52. By Wednesday, we're back up to 60, and I think upper 50s to near 60 on Thursday as well. So we've got that to look forward to. In the meantime, we'll just need to have that coat with us for the next couple of days. Look forward to Saturday, and then have the umbrellas ready as we finally see that shot at much needed rain. Want to go ahead and tell you the best way to stay in touch with us and get forecast updates on the impending weekend weather is by downloading that 13 News Now mobile app. Whenever you're away from your television or on the go, you'll have different updates pushed out to the phone. If there's any breaking news, traffic, or weather, we'll let you know. But you always have access to our forecast, to our live streams, to just anything you'd want. Our radars, you can access any of that. It is a fantastic tool, and it is free and available. You can find it on the App Store or, of course, Google Play, either one of those, and it is always free. So just scan that QR code, and hopefully you'll have that set up on your phone so you get the updates on the go. Want to thank you for joining us here on the Weather Desk. Again, I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. We do it each and every weekday morning starting at 9, and we focus on the weather across Hampton Roads. Like today, we focused on weather across the country. And you know, this past week or so, it's been more local and national, but a lot of times if there are big weather stories around the world, we focus on those as well as climate and even space weather sometimes. So make sure you let your friends know about us and keep checking back to find us here on the Weather Desk. Again, I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. I look forward to seeing you next time.